Welcome to 'Cause We Can Farms. We are Heather and Kimmy. We met over 30 years ago in the United States Army and have been best friends ever since. Last year, we began setting posts for our DIY post and beam barn build. All of the materials so far for this barn have come off of my 73-acre property that I have up here in northern Idaho. We have cut these logs, we have milled these logs into beams, and have been able to start putting this barn up. As a disabled veteran, building this barn, putting this together has created a level of healing in me that I never thought that I would have. A few weeks ago, we had an entire group of other YouTubers come up, and almost all of them are veterans. And we had such an amazing day building and adding the first beams to this barn. Kimmy and I are continuing to work and get this barn finished, and so that next year we can open this up to veterans in our community to begin their journey healing also. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and share this video with other people that you believe that would love to follow the journey.
You'd have been proud of my tractor skills putting this one up. You'd have been like, yeah, that's my mom.
I'd like to start today's video off with our sponsor, Immune. We have quite a few of their different tools and really like them. Today we're going to be using the cordless pressure washer, and we're actually not going to be using it in a manner that they recommend. We're going to be using it to help us put out fires. So this is a battery unit, so we do not have to plug in, which is perfect for our off-grid situation. It comes with everything that you will need, including a soap dispenser. So if you are washing the side of your house, the siding, or your vehicle, or something like that that needs soap, it has its own little dispenser that you can add to this as you're running the water through it. The 21-volt battery system lasts quite a bit longer than I thought it would. The coolest thing about this system for me is that I can drop it into a 5-gallon bucket of water and take this anywhere on my property to complete jobs that I actually need to do.
It's a fun new toy.
Yeah, that's on 0. That's 15 degrees. 25 degrees. 40. Oh, it's got a bunch of lines.
It could be an outdoor shower for our off-grid life.
Really could be. This is really fun. Okay, so I've wanted one of these for a really long time. I would say that shot about 20 feet. And we're going to use it today while we burn the barn.
It's got some power.
That is some pressure. Under pressure. I'm going to go back to this one.
This thing's gonna come in handy.
Yeah, it is.
Battery's dead. Okay. Needed a break.
So I feel like this would even work for off-grid showers if we had to.
You were that desperate. It would be cold coming out of this.
Yeah, but you know, at least we would be clean.
This is going to come in real handy. This has been one of our things that we haven't been able to do up here off-grid. As you can see, we haul in our water. So when we have fires that we light up and burn our
Glass
piles and stuff, that's been one of our biggest issues. So this is going to be super handy. I'm sure my grandkids will love it. Even watering my garden on this setting from a distance, it does have pretty good pressure on it, so.
But it did have a lighter one, didn't it?
Yeah, when you do the angles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like this would even work for off-grid showers if we had to. You know, at least we would be clean.
Yeah, when you do the angles. Yeah. 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 Yeah, when you do the angles. Yeah
something in my hair, probably a stink bug. It's rude. Hi guys, welcome back to Cause We Can Farms. We're Heather and Kimmy, and today we're actually setting the barn on fire.
We're tired of it. We're setting it on fire. We're done with this.
We're just done. No, just kidding. So we are going to be sugi bonning it, and I'm pretty sure I say that wrong, but it's fun to say that way, so I'm going to continue doing it. And the reason being is we are due for some rain, and none of this is pressure treated lumber. So those are that's the number one reason. This treats the lumber, petrifies it so that it won't decay, continue to decay. So since we're going to be going into some bad weather, and then basically we're into winter type weather, a lot of rain this month, we have today to get this done.
And aesthetically looking, we also like that look. So, you know, we do have some stain that we're going to throw on there, but this is what we want to do first because it does look so cool.
I love it. And we're really only concerned about the posts and the beams. We'll get these outside girts and stuff because it doesn't matter. None of that's going to be seen, but obviously keeping the rain from it is going to be a big deal. So that's what we're doing today. If you're new here, we have been building this 30 by 50 barn, post and beam barn that we got the plans from Barn Geeks. And there's a link to his description below. We're going to take this barn and honor all of our veterans that we know. We ourselves are veterans. And so there is, I'm actually going to go ahead and put a link in the description that kind of explains to you what we're going to be doing where that is concerned.
And we're going to be honoring your veterans too. If you want to be part of it, just look down and you'll be able, she'll have a link down there explaining that.
Exactly. Because we need to build community. We need to have each other's back. As we say in the military, we need to have your six. And so if you're struggling, if you're a veteran, please message us. Please reach out. We completely understand. And, you know, we're willing to be part of your community. Let's get to this. Oh, did you want to burn first, or do you want to?
I'll burn first.
Okay.
If I get too hot, I'll wave you down. And
okay. Well, you get bonus points if you burn a wasp.
Okay, if you guys have been watching this channel at all, you know how much I absolutely love the sugi bonning. The look of it to me is just insanely beautiful. But the fact that it also has a real purpose in giving me treated lumber that I've actually milled here off of my property is pretty amazing. I had looked up and researched different ways that I could create that finger quote pressure treated wood that you purchase at the store. And I didn't want to use a ton of chemicals. I didn't really have a way to soak lumber in chemicals here on the property. So when researching these different methods, this is the one that I found, and I just think it's so beautiful. So, you know, a lot of this stuff you're not going to be seeing on the outside. It's going to be covered. So this purely, for quite a bit of this material, is for treating it. The inside, you will see the posts and the beams and stuff like that. So I just think it's going to be stunning when you walk in there and you see that. We are treating it so that when you walk up to it and touch it, you don't get black soot on you, which is probably the only negative of this entire system, of this entire way of pressure treating these. I guess it's not pressure treating, but treating this lumber so that it will survive being in more of the weather and stuff. I do have other pieces of lumber that we've done this with. It does fade in the sun if you don't seal it. And it's been out in the weather 100%. And in fact, some of it I just left on the ground to see how it would do. And it's still as good as new. So, you know, this really does work. So if you're in a situation where you're milling your own lumber and you need to treat it in some manner, if you don't like this super black look, treat it, wash it, scrub it down, let it sit in the sun, it'll fade, and then you'll still have a treated piece of lumber. But for me, I love it. I love the dark look. I love the black. and I'm wanting to keep it that way as much as possible. So as I was editing, this is a lot of repetitive content throughout this video, and I honestly was thinking, how am I going to get people to actually want to watch all of this? Now, one, I think it's pretty cool watching the lumber go from this light colored material to the black. It's mesmerizing to me. But I thought that I would tell you some stories of when I was in service. I remember going into basic training, and being a military brat, I was kind of prepared for the environment of basic training. But there's still this level of your stomach just kind of dropping out, because you truly are in somebody else's hands. Your safety is in somebody else's hands. Your quality of life in somebody else's hands. And their entire goal is to just break you down and then rebuild you up and create the soldier. And I have to say, knowing everything that I know now, I would still enlist.
Come on. That's bad. Shoot, it doesn't want to go up. No.
Now, in basic training for us, we were military police. We were a co-ed situation. So we had our own bay that we slept in and all of those things, and we weren't allowed to socialize with the males. But we all did basic training together. So when we did our hikes and PT and all of that kind of stuff, we did it all together as a group. And one of the things that I want to share that isn't usually fairly normal is I met my husband, and we were both going in at the same time. So yes, I was one of those that met and married my husband very quickly. For those of people that knew me, it was shocking, because I was not really planning on being married and really planning on being in the military and retiring military and then getting out and pursuing law enforcement. And I saw my husband and was like, I am going to marry that man. Lucky for me, he actually thought the same thing. But one of the really cool things is we got to know each other through writing letters. Really know each other through writing letters. And he didn't only just write me letters, and I didn't know it, but he was writing my mom letters. And, after my mom died and I was going through her stuff, I got to find these and read them. And it's really incredible to be able to see yourself through somebody else's eyes, somebody who really likes you. And it was such a gift to hear his words and get pulled back into that space. There's times in our lives where we probably feel like, I'm not doing enough, I'm not getting enough done, I'm not strong enough, I'm not those things. And to be honest with you, I'm kind of in that space now. But then to get to go and see and hear what somebody else who cares about you is telling other people. that you're amazing and that you're strong and that you're withstanding and that you have integrity and that you're an inspiration to other people. The power in that is incredible. Because here I thought that I was just holding on and, by my fingertips and barely making it. And he was seeing someone who was not only just getting through it, but getting through it way farther up at the top than I thought I was. I thought I was at the bottom rung, and he was seeing me at the very top rung. I don't really know how to explain it. I still have those letters, and they are incredible. So if you know someone who's in the service, make sure that you write. The one thing is, my mom wrote me a letter every single day, and my husband wrote me a letter every single day, and that is still a very cherished thing that I have. And I am extremely blessed to have that. So I'm sitting here trying to think of a basic training story that I can share with you. And there's a couple of them that just come to my mind whenever I think of being at basic training. The first was the actual very first day that we got there and unloaded off the bus, which is probably like every movie scene that you've ever seen about basic training in the military. And they get on the bus and they yell at you, and you're just trying to get off as quickly as you can, and they're grabbing your rucksack and that you're holding onto the front of your body, and they're just moving you around to wherever they want you to be. And then the females were actually up on the 4th floor of our barracks building, so we had to climb all the way up to the very top and with our luggage. And we probably went up and down those stairs 3 or 4 times, because somebody would get way behind and you're just running. You're just like, I'm not paying attention to where anybody else is. And then they're screaming at you because you left somebody behind, and you better get back down there and get them. So everybody would have to run down and get them. And then, eventually they quit the game, because it really is a game. And you're exhausted and you're tired and you're discombobulated, and you're kind of looking at this person of, why did you come in? We did have a couple of people that came in to piss off their family and, really didn't want to be there. They were shocked that this was what they were involved in. They don't have military in their family, and so it was really impressive that they made it through. I think we had probably 2 females out of the 42 in my group that ended up going home sometime through basic training, that they just couldn't pass the PT or something to that effect. But otherwise, our group it was really impressive to watch these girls, because we were all 18 or 19 years old. We were babies. Learn the things that we learned and do the things that we did and build the camaraderie of the group. It was really pretty awesome to see. I'm actually going to do something new on this video, and Kim is going to tell a story from her military experience also. So I really hope that you guys enjoy it. And I'm going to take this time to ask you, if you do enjoy our videos, if you could subscribe, because a lot of people that watch are not subscribed. And we're really trying to reach that 10,000 mark here so that YouTube will start pushing our videos. So make sure that you leave a comment, you put a thumbs up, and subscribe.
I joined the Army 3/4 of the way through my senior year, unbeknownst to my mother. For me, I felt like it was a chance for me to branch out and see the world and to do something that was truly good in my life. I didn't really know a whole lot about the Army. I did have a grandfather that was in, and a grandmother that I found out about after she passed that had been in, but no one else in my immediate family had been in the service. My first experience with the Army, to getting to Fort McClellan, Alabama, and being on the bus that it was taking us to basic training. And I get there, and these two drill sergeants walk on the bus. One was a short, very pale-skinned guy, and one was very, very dark and very tall with a deep voice. And they were very welcoming and telling us, welcome to Alabama. You know, this is going to be a great experience. You guys are going to have a lot of fun. And the next thing I know, the drill sergeants are yelling, and the one with the very deep voice and very dark skin was coming down the aisle, and he's like, get off my bus, get off my bus. And it was terrifying. I thought, what did I get myself into? I know that you hear stories about basic training, and, you know, I think that they're all, you know, at this age when I was young and naive, I was like, I'm sure a lot of those are fabricated. It can't be true. But as this drill sergeant with his really deep voice and very dark skins yelling at me, I am like, I have been sheltered in this little world in the city in Idaho for far too long, and I don't know what I've done. So we're all running off the bus with our stuff, and they make us run up 3 flights of stairs and throw our stuff into these little lockers. And then they yelled, that's not fast enough. Take it off. Put it on your shoulders again. Do it again. And so we had to do this multiple times until everybody had their stuff in the lockers and shut in time for the drill sergeants to be happy. The next morning I woke up and both of my shoulders were black and blue from the amount of times that I threw that duffel bag on my shoulder and off my shoulder. And I was like, what again have I gotten myself into? Throughout my time through basic training, I had a bunk buddy that was a little bit of a wild child, and therefore anytime she got in trouble, I would get in trouble. And I just really did not think at times that I was going to make it. It was so mentally difficult. The physical was hard, but it's the mental that was the hardest for me. And by the time I made it to the end and graduated, one of the drill sergeants came up to me and he said, I'm really proud of you. And I tell you, that was the proudest moment of my life, was how proud I was of myself and the fact that I made it through that. One of my other experiences that I recall quite vividly is going through the gas chamber. Back in the 90s, you had to go in, state your rank, your serial number, your name, all of that stuff with your mask off. And then they had to do a couple other things, and then you could come out. And when I came out, I had snot literally going down to my knees. My face was bright red. My face was on fire. All of my skin felt like it was melting off. And I was like, I, again, cannot believe what I've gotten myself into. Most of my memories and experiences from the military were all from basic training. There was a ruck march that we did near the end. It was a 12-mile. And of course, you're carrying your weapon. You're carrying your bag with all your stuff in it. I think it was 50 pounds that we were carrying. And throughout this ruck march, it's mentally difficult to push yourself to make it, to push yourself to get to that, end part. And I remember there were a few times that, one specifically that I was ready to give up. I'm like, right around this next corner, if we're not there, I'm passing out. I'm done. I'm not making it. There's no way. And sometimes it just takes you a little bit of motivation. And they said, If you make it to the end, you get a helicopter ride back to base instead of riding in the back of the deuce and half, which is quite terrible on your bum and on your back. And I made it to the end of that ruck march. And again, what an accomplishment. And the ride in the fall, seeing all the trees in Alabama from the helicopter was the most amazing experience.
What did you bring?
Sausages.
Yay!
That's it. Just some sausages.
This is an eat fast, get back to work kind of Lent dinner.
I was unloading water, feeding animals, and cooking all at the same time.
Well, I'm going to get off of here and enjoy it.
Yeah.
Why are we up so early?
We're always up this early.
But why are we out? I can't even hold my arm up.
We're out because we want to get this done before this rain happens.
That is exactly it. God has held it off for us. We got almost all of it done. We had to let you guys go because it got really dark. But honestly, after dinner, we were way too tired to keep going. So we decided we would pause, pray for no rain this morning, and get back at it bright and early. All right, so we ended up getting all the lowers done inside and out. And so we've got to do the uppers on the outside and the inside for a couple more beams.
Looks so good.
It looks so pretty. Not gonna lie, I walked up here and I got all teary because it was like the dream is coming to fruition. I don't regret at all doing the charring. It is so beautiful. You guys can't, I don't know if it shows up as well. Let me zoom in. But you get to see the beautiful, I don't know, the lines and swirls and all the things. It just looks fantastic.
It looks fantastic, as do we.
I've got my fire shirt on. Thanks, Bob.
She does.
I did have to put out 2 fires yesterday with our little spray thing, which, by the way, is fantastic. You just have to make sure that the hose is pushed all the way in, because that's what happened with that one fire that I didn't actually get to put out because it wouldn't spray. And when I showed you guys how far it sprayed, that was on the lowest setting. It actually has 2 more settings. It goes farther than that.
I love it. I think it's going to be fun. We need a second so we can shoot and all of that stuff next summer.
Right? I told my grandkids that my gun shot farther. My water gun shot farther than theirs. All right, man, it's gorgeous.
Let's get to work.
I think we're going to get this done before the rain, and then we're really going to sit down and do absolutely nothing for 3 days because
I'm going to finish my video and edit.
I hope this shirt makes me look thin. If not, Bob, it's rude.
It definitely does. Dark is good. I like dark colors.
Okay, so normally when you shoshugibon something, you put linseed oil over it to help preserve it. I personally, when you do that, it will lighten. Of course, this is all going to be inside eventually, so it won't fade. The sun won't fade it as much. But I really want it to say super dark. Super dark. Super dark. I want it to stay like this. And Benjamin Moore actually gave us some stain. And the stain color didn't work really well, but we've let that color settle. And so we've got the clear part of the stain that will preserve it.
that we're going to put on this. So I know that that's not normally how you do it. It stresses people out whenever we do that, but we use what we have. This was free, and so we're going to use it.
And don't you guys know us by now? We are non-traditionalists. We do things a little bit different. We beat to our own drums.
But honestly, if I had the money, I would probably buy the oil. I probably would if I was spending the money on it. But like I said, this was donated to help our cause and get this done. So thank you, Virgil, for that.
Yes.
You know, and I think that's one of the biggest part of homesteading is you use what you have. You don't just run out and purchase, you know, something because, oh, that's the exact thing that I need, if I have something that will work and serve the same purpose.
Unless you're a rich homesteader, and if you are, kudos to you.
Are you single? Because we're looking for husbands.
We're just not that kind of homesteader.
No, we're broken, poor, old, decrepit, my body hurts, all those things. I think all those things. Oh, I just probably sprayed you. That's on high.
That's fun.
I could almost get that coat.
I took a shower last night. I really don't need a second.
The boys won't be able to get me, man. We'll be like, I'll be able to stand 40 feet away. Turn that off. Move my new toy.
There really is just something about being around somebody who has gone through something very similar as yourself. And that just builds that level of camaraderie that you don't have with other people. And that's really, I think, the push behind creating this sanctuary type place that veterans can come to and hang out with and spend the day and learn together and build together and do a thing together. So next spring, we will be opening up the garden and starting to create that space of growing something and doing something. Putting my hands in soil has definitely really made a difference in growing and changing myself. And, you know, that's kind of been a really big deal for me. Building this barn and dreaming about the things that will happen inside, because it's actually a shop, brings me a huge amount of joy. It gives me purpose. It gives me a place to think about growth and change and friendship and joy and purpose. And I really feel like that's what we need in life as people in general. But veterans, when we're not with our people and we're not around somebody who we know has our back, we have a tendency to just shut it down. And I'm really hoping that this space brings that level of comfort that we had when we were surrounded with our friends that became our family. And we were doing things and we were making a difference. Even if it was just making a difference in the lives with the people that were there with us. I feel like we can do this if we're together, if we stick together. I really hope that you enjoyed today's video. Please make sure, if you're not subscribed, that you subscribe to continue to follow the journey. And we truly appreciate all of you that support us and care about us.